And we have a massive lineup, ladies and gentlemen. When I said we were getting the great and the good of the West Ham YouTube fraternity, I wasn't lying. Look at this. A right rogues gallery this is. But JP, how are you, sir? We'll start with the introductions to yourself. How's things going?
Oh, things are going well, mate. You're absolutely right. The great and the good and Yaz. So yeah, but no, honestly, it's great to see you all guys again. Some, as we were just saying just before we went live, I haven't seen Yaz for basically since COVID. James, we haven't spoken to for a little while, and Gatesy, it's been about almost 2 years since I've seen. Well, at least a year since I've seen you as well, mate. So
yep.
Yeah, it's good to see everybody, and hope everyone's keeping well and looking after yourselves before the second heat wave hits. That's for sure.
Yeah, it could be a bit of a scorcher. Jazz, how about you? You all good?
Yeah, I've been away for a couple of years, I think, from the YouTube scene. So good to be back. I think I told the wife what I'm doing, and she's like, "Oh, fuck you know, not again." But anyway, she goes, keep your volume down, you know, all the rest of it. But yeah, you might have given me, it might be back now. You're giving me a bit of heat for it again. But yeah, a couple of years just doing bits and bobs, and might come back, might not. But yeah, all good.
You heard it here first.
All good, mate. All good.
Good. And James, your plans for world domination as far as the West Ham YouTube, it going well. I mean, you're up and up and up. Every time I see your sub numbers, I'm thoroughly jealous, mate. I can't.
Don't be jealous of that, mate. Fuck me. You know what I'm saying? Don't worry about that. Yeah, I mean, late nights, early mornings, and load of shit in between. I'm all good. Happy to be here. Happy that Sullivan is at the door and potential prison. And everything is looking rosy in the garden of West Ham United. That's.
Yeah, well, it is, but we're going to get into it. I mean, I do have a few concerns, and I'd really love your opinions. And anybody that's in the live chat that wants to fire in with their opinions, any questions as we go along. I'm planning on doing this for about 45 minutes, give or take, and we'll just have a little bit of a laugh. It's a Friday evening, so why not? So let's. My starting point, I want to sort of go through with you, and if I start with you, JP. So the first thing I want to talk about is what do you think about the announcement earlier this week about the badge redesign? I mean, for me, I think this was an easy win. This was a tap in for the new regime, because this is something that I think we can agree that the current badge, which we've had since the move to London Stadium, I think as far as most fans is concerned, it's universally unpopular.
Well, it has been for a decade, mate. That's the problem. But at the same point, it's the announcement of fan badge consultation has confused a hell of a lot of people, because people are thinking, right, we're getting a new badge next season. Well, how can it? We're only a couple of months in. What it should have said is fan badge consultation for 27, 28 or 28, 29, whenever it's going to be. People are thinking, well, hang on a second, why have we still got the same shit on the new kit? But yes, you're right, Gatesy. It is an absolute tap-in, 100%, because it's the first thing I said on my the video when I was talking about things. West Ham is slowly getting things better, doing things better. Is because it's the first thing that I'm guessing they've seen everything all over the place, is that everybody's unhappy with. I don't think it's the badge personally itself. I think it's more down to the fact that we were given a vote of 3 badges and it was none of them that anybody voted for. I think that's what's really done it more than anything else. Obviously we're no longer at the bowling anymore. So taking the castle out removes that. But at the same point, as we've all argued about, we're not London, we're East London. So what's the point in having it in the first place if you're going to get the geography wrong? But at the same point, a decade later, it's time for a rechange anyway. There could be there was a very, very good chance that this was on the list to do things anyway. There's a very good chance that they were going to try and do it for this coming season, regardless of who's in charge at the board. Do you know what I mean? Because with the exception of 2 people, it's still exactly the same board that has been for the last couple of years.
That is a very fair point, JP. To be fair, Jazz, what about you with the badge? What's your thoughts? Are you one of the few people that exist? I dare say there might be a few around. I've never met any that actually likes the badge. Perhaps. What do you think?
It's been a huge pain point for me. Absolutely hate the badge. I remember at the time they did it. They said there was some kind of survey, maybe 20 people did it. They kind of pushed it under the carpet, bit like moving ground. No one voted for anything. Yeah, it's like some primary, with respect, some primary school kids done it. I absolutely hate it. You can improve the kit as much as you want, but with that badge on there and even the sponsors, it just doesn't do it for me. It's got to be the Castle, mate. I'm a traditional kid, grew up with Adidas and Castle kits and Avco Trust and all of that. No, it's absolutely awful. And it's like they did it deliberately, mate. We're going to move to a new ground we don't like. We're going to mess the badge up. The kits are going to be half and half. The food's going to be crap. The journey there's going to be crap. Atmosphere is going to be crap. We're going to buy shit players, but yeah, that's it. Better stop there. Yeah, the badge. I hate the badge.
Optimistic as ever. Yeah, it's good to see. Good to see nothing changes.
Yeah, I hate the badge. I hate the badge, mate. And the quicker we change it, I believe it's going to be changed next year. Hopefully, we'll be back in the Premiership. And also,
I think it's 2 years, isn't it?
No, I think next year. It's the consultation.
It's next year.
Starts
That's the point. That's the point I was making. So I didn't check, guys, but that's the point. It should have said we're going to be discussing it for whatever period. It's obviously not going to be this coming season because they want to talk to season ticket holders and claret holders. So it's going to be. That's what I mean. It's just been bad.
It's all going to take time.
Yeah, you can't do it now because a lot of the current badges are already in production with a lot of merchandise. So this is where the consultation period starts with season ticket holders and members and other people. And for next year, 2 things will happen. The badge will change, and hopefully, I don't think you allow betting companies anymore on shirts in the Premiership, I think. So it'll be a completely brand new shirt. Looking forward to it. Yeah.
What's your thoughts, James? I dare say this is going to be a clean sweep of nobody can stand that current monstrosity we have on our shirt, can they?
Nah, that badge has got to go. You got to bring back the Castle, mate. For me, you got to go back to the tradition, and the tradition is what we left 10 years ago. Do you know what I'm saying? Just remember one thing: when we left Upton Park, we become a franchise, and we're not a franchise club, but we're a community-based club. And I'm hoping that we go back to our roots and go back to factory settings and start again. And that's the only way you can do it, really. If it is next year, it'd be great. We go up to the Premier League next year. And then we've got a new badge, we've got new vision, new future, new hope. Do you know what I mean? So I meant mine short and sweet, mate.
Yeah, I mean, I got to be honest. I'm kind of torn on the Castle because the thing for me is that the Castle was synonymous with the bowling ground, Upton Park. It has nothing to do with where we are now. Now, as far as where we are now, that it is what it is. We can't do anything about that.
You want Westfield in the badge? You want Westfield in the badge?
No. Right. Okay. So since you ask, I've actually prepared something because I've actually done a little bit of stuff, and this is what I am going to present to you as my little concoction of a badge. Now, I've not put the Castle on it because, like I say, we're no longer at the bowling ground. Now, we didn't always have a Castle on the badge. If you look at the badge going back to prior to 1964, we did not have a Castle. So when we played in the first FA Cup final at Wembley in 1923 against Bolton Wanderers, there was no Castle on the badge. When we won the Football League Wartime Cup in 1940, beating Blackburn Rovers 1-0, we did not have a Castle on the badge. When Bobby Moore made his debut in 1958, there was no Castle on the badge then either. So the Castle has not always been a constant. It has been there for many, many years. And like I say, 64 is when really it first popped up. But I'm like, well, that's a part of our history that is connected to a place that we're no longer located at. So the Castle, and like I say, this is my personal opinion, and people can shoot me down in flames, and that's fine. But I'm like, well, look, our nickname is the Hammers. So the Hammers were the things that were needed to be there. If they'd have removed the Hammers and left the Castle in situ, I'd have gone absolutely nuts. I'm like, well, what you want about? Our nickname's the Hammers, not the Castles. So that the Castle, I can take on it. Now, look, I'm not deeply entrenched. Let me be clear. If the public speaks and says we want the Castle back, fine. I'm not that bothered. But the Castle, if it doesn't come back, again, I'm not overly concerned. So long as the hammers are there, and they're there in this design, the TIW for me on the heads of the hammers is a nod to our Genesis as Thames Iron Works in 1895. The date that year is on the badge there. And the scroll at the bottom for me is the thing that I probably missed that more than the castle. The fact that we've got our club name that seems to be sort of like squashed into the badge itself, I'm like, that just looks like an afterthought. And don't get me started on the word London, please.
And also, Gates, you've got to remember that when we had the pony kit of whatever kit it was, we didn't have the bowling badge there either. That was what, the 80s, late 80s, early 90s?
Yeah, that was the old Avco Trust kit, wasn't it?
That's it. Yeah. So yeah, that's what I mean. Like for example, when I did a video about the fan consultation, I actually put my version up, which I've actually improved since then. But I had an Ironworks factory in place of the castle. If we're going to go back to our heritage properly, then why don't we do that?
Yeah, no, I did see your badge there, John, and to be honest, I sort of looked at it and thought that's a really interesting thought, and I hadn't thought of it until I saw your badge and went, okay. I mean, look, for me, I think simplicity is genius, as Ron Green once said. So I'm like, look, so long as the hammers are there, whatever else, if you put anything else there, whether it's a castle, whether it's an ironworks, or whether it's just a pair of hammers and that's it, fine. But the word London for me, that has got to go.
That's what
yours
that's
is too similar,
Casey.
Your badge is too similar to the one we got now, mate.
It's a hybrid.
No,
it's a hybrid.
I think it's too common. Yeah, I don't know. I want the castle in there anyway. That's me.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's fine. And if everybody that is consulted, if the majority says we want the castle back, I'm not that entrenched in my opinion to say that's wrong. I'll just say, do you know what? But the important thing is, and you said it earlier, Jazz, I've been a season ticket holder since 1997, right? I was not given any consultation in moving to the London Stadium. I was not given any consultation in this current badge. We're now being given a voice. And that, I think, is whatever the outcome of the consultation is, to me, is neither here nor there. The mere fact that we're now being given a voice, which, as far as I'm concerned, we've not had since 2010, that for me is an absolute win.
You got to bring back the castle, mate, because you got to remember Upton Park. Remember one thing: we're in the ELS because of Sullivan. Sullivan put us in that gaff.
No, that's not correct. That's not correct. The Icelandic started it. He continued it.
No, he had an idea. The moment he bought West Ham, right, that the London Stadium was there, it was going to be empty after the 2012 Olympics. He knew what he was doing, right? And anyone with half a brain would have went, yeah, let's go over there and try and get that on the cheap. Do you know what I mean? Like, we've got to bring back the old West Ham. We have to. Yeah, we can't keep going into this sort of millennium of thinking that it's all going to be okay and let's go back to the 1960s. Right, we've got to go back 15 years ago. Do you know what I mean?
If you remember, James, with the original bid for the London Stadium was the fact that we were going to buy it, but then Barry Hearn and Levy kicked up a fuss, and so we ended up renting it instead. If we'd have bought it, I think the conversation would have been completely different. But it is what it is. But
the thing is, the identity has to be like West Ham has to bring their identity back. Like, it feels like to me over the last 10 years, our identity has gone down the pan a little bit.
I agree. I'm not disagreeing.
We haven't even got a museum over there. Do you know what I mean? We had a museum at Upton Park, right?
That's really you mentioned that. I did a video about that.
Yeah. So there's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of stuff that needs to come back, right? In order for the community, i.e. the West Ham fans, to understand what it is. West Ham has to feel like West Ham again. Do you know what I mean? In my opinion, I'm not really. Do you know what? If the castle's on there or it's not on there, I'm not sort of overly out of it. Do you know what I mean? I'm like, you know what? It is what it is. Yeah. But we have to feel like it's a unit again. Do you know what I mean? Because I feel like we've been divided for a hell of a long time. For me.
Agreed. And we'll never be that way until we own that stadium. That's the problem.
Yeah, I agree.
It'll always be the rented. Well, because we're renting it. There's no two ways about it. You know, it's good that Sadiq Khan is willing to renegotiate the contract. So hopefully things are going to be moving forward.
Yeah, I completely agree.
Let's move on to the next topic of discussion I want to get stuck into, guys. So I'll move it to you, Jazz, as the starting point. What were your thoughts on Mateus Fernandes' £85 million transfer? I mean, were you particularly bothered? Were you because there's a lot of people that are a little bit offended by the fact that, despite the fact that Daniel Kretinsky has held firm and got the asking price, it's the fact that it's that lot along the North Circular seems to have flared up some people. Where are you at with it?
The age I'm at now, mate. It's all about the numbers, isn't it? As a young kid, I remember Tony Cottee going to Everton 88, worst day of my life. I personally had a grudge. I'm like, I'm going to kill you. Why did you do this? And obviously you grow up, you mature up, and then you see TC a lot, you talk to him. And it's a profession to these guys. Loyalty's gone out the window. Gone other days when players used to play 10 years or not leave when we went down. Saw Trevor Brooking last month. He never went. You could have gone anywhere. So for me, it's all about numbers. And looking at Wikipedia, we bought him for 38 million from Southampton, and looks like there was a sell-on clause, so Southampton will get 7 million out of the 83, 85 we're getting. So for me, it's all about, if you want to go as quick as you can, bring the money in, and we can move on. And it's very tricky for me, I think, because I don't want anyone saying they're staying, and then a week before the window, I want to go now, because we won't know who to buy. So for me, I'm fine with it. Looks like we've more than doubled our money. I don't care who you went to. I'm not sure if I'm over Rice joining Arsenal. I don't know, but for this one and Tottenham going, it's fine. He's probably a right player. He's not Declan Rice. Didn't stay long enough to grow on me. Tidy, neat player. But when you look at him, you look at Tonali. What do they do in the game? You don't notice them. They pass it 10 centimetres to the right, to the left, keep it a little bit. For me, if I was Tottenham, I'd rather spend 100 million on a striker. But that's fine. Good luck to him. We've doubled our money. We'll move on. Thank you, mate. And hope you go down the third time. I'm fine.
maybe he'll keep the match ball. He gets the hat trick. So, James, what were your thoughts when we got 85 mil for Mr. Fernandes?
Over the moon, mate. Daniel Kretinsky's here, and he's a proper businessman. He put a fee down that said 85 million, come and get him. And he wasn't going to budge on it, and he forced the sale of Fernandes. Listen, Fernandes has been here 10 months. I'm not going to lose no sleep over a man who's been here 10 months. He was a good player for us, don't get me wrong. But we have been relegated, and we've got to know where we're at. £85 million for a player who's been here 10 months. He's only scored, 4 goals in 36 games. It's unbelievable what we've got for him. I'd be more angry if it was Bowen going to Spurs, or even Summerville to a point, because I think their attackers and they will blossom. But you know what? I think the ownership have done a masterstroke on this one. They played the game. They played all the sort of clubs against each other to say, right, whoever wants him can pay the money. Spurs went in there and paid the money. I get it from the fan base side where people don't like to sell to Spurs. I understand that argument. But we're in a situation where we're in a lot of debt, and we need to get out this debt as soon as possible. And if their money's as good as the next man for me, and I can sort of accept it because of the situation we're in. If we'd have been in the Premier League and they would have come in and took the player off us, that would have hurt more than us being in the Championship. Us being in the Championship, I think we've got to know where we're at. So, yeah, I can accept it, mate. 85 million is a good deal for everyone.
Just adding to
How about
that,
yourself, JP?
I think it's a straight cash deal, just adding to that. I think there's no add-ons or anything, straight cash, yeah.
Not sure. I'll be perfectly honest with you. I'm not 100% certain. I have heard to use the Alan Brazil line when he asked Gary Bushell how Bob Monkhouse's health was. I've heard two different versions.
Yeah, that was a classic,
somebody told me that there was a clause, but I've not really heard that anywhere else. But so I don't know whether that's accurate or not. But
no,
JP,
the
how about yourself?
Anyway, carry on.
Can I speak? And Yaz has made my point for me. Thank you very much for talking for me, buddy. Yeah, it was straight cash. That's the reason why. That's one of the reasons why Man United pulled out of the deal, was because they wanted to do it in installments. They wanted to use Sullivan's Klarna account on him, basically. But yes, there was a sell-on fee. I believe it was around about 13% going to Southampton. So the mathematics is more than 7 million. It's working out more like 9, but it doesn't make much of a difference. From a footballing perspective, it's a backward step. because I do think we were able to. We should have kept hold of him and really built the midfield around him, because there's not many midfielders in there that you can actually build a team around. But at the same point, James, you're absolutely right there, fella. From a financial point of view, because it was a lump sum, Spurs were saying, yeah, we can pay you all in full now. That's the reason why it went off. I don't think, from what I was reading, I don't think there was actually any real concrete bids from Real Madrid either, for that matter. I think it was just tentative conversations. And I think there was one other. I think there's an Italian side we're in from as. I think there was an Italian floating about, but yeah, there were tentative conversations testing the water. But yeah, from a financial point of view, James, you're absolutely spot on, mate. Yeah, we need every penny we can get. I wasn't happy that he went to Spurs for the reasons, James, you just mentioned. But at the same point, you know, it's we've had Spurs' pants down for 2 players now over 2 seasons, so you can't grumble for that.
Yeah, fair enough. Before next one thing I want to cover off as well is the reports came out last night that apparently West Ham and Manchester United are in dialogue. Another departure, and this will tie on to another thing I want to discuss down the track, because I am, as I alluded to a little bit earlier, there's a few concerns that I'm beginning to get. I'm trying to remain positive, but there's a few little alarm bells I've got beginning to go off. But Kretinsky, Summerville going to Manchester United allegedly. James, if we move it over to you, what are you thinking as far as see, the thing is, I heard before the World Cup that Kretinsky was after 50 mil. Now, for me, Summerville's gone over to the World Cup, 2 goals, 2 assists. He hasn't looked out of place in there. Is 50 million enough?
I think with the structure of the deal, 50 million is very much good enough if they're prepared to pay it large amounts up front. If a lot of this is in installments, then it's going to be a problem, because we're in a lot of debt and we need to get the money into the bank account urgently. Some of it will go. I've come to the conclusion that I don't want him to go to Spurs. I don't really want him to go to Man United. The way they've carried on, they've acted like right fucking plums all throughout the old sort of Fernandes deal. And the way they've carried on, like with the self-entitlement that they're Manchester United, they can go and do what they want and buy they want, and we just got to do as they're told. I don't want him to go there. For me, 50 mil will be all right. Yeah, he's not a 50 million pound player in my opinion. I think he's a player that's worth about 35, maybe 40 at a push. But if we can go and get 50 for him, and we sell 2 players for 140 combined total for 2 players, I think we've had it right off. And I think we've done that in a way that's been very, very smooth. But we will see. But I've accepted it for me. I've accepted that he's going to leave.
JP, over to you.
Yep, cash in on the 2.5 decent months we had from him out of 2 seasons. Yeah, you know, he was a good player for a season before last. Massively screwed that season up due to his injuries and his own arrogance, thinking he could get his hamstring issue resolved naturally. It didn't happen, so he had to go and have surgery. So he had the majority of that season out. When he came back, 6-7 games on the trot where he was absolutely excellent, and then didn't really live up to that rest of that expectation for the remainder of the season. So 100% cash, like it was with Fernandes, cash it in while his stock's high, as far as I'm concerned.
Absolutely fair. And Jazz, what are your thoughts on Summerville potentially going to Manchester United, and what price do you think is a fair reflection on what we should get?
Yeah, I think something around 40, 50 or around that is more than enough for him. I think he's always going to be injury prone, I feel, because he's so quick and he's so fragile, the body, a bit like Lanzini. So I think I can see a lot of injuries in the next couple of years. But obviously, he played well in the World Cup. He played really good around January for us. And it's quite interesting. We're getting a lot of difficulty getting deals done with Man United, isn't it? It goes back to Lingard's time when we try to get Maguire out of them. I don't know what's going on, but we don't getting on together, are we, doing deals? But for me, it's fine. Make a nice little profit on him. And we only want players who want to stay, don't we? We want a fresh start buying potential youth, ideally from our leagues here, you know. And we'll go into Nuno a bit later on, but obviously with him and Mendes, we're able to pull a bit more from players from across Europe as well, I think. So I'm fine with it, mate. I'm fine. Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, fair. So the next point of order I want to discuss, chaps. So with next one, and I've alluded to this earlier, I am getting concerned. And I know I'm probably not the only one here. A week ago, we were told we were going to imminently have a gentleman coming in by the name of Nils Koppen. Now, the only thing that, as I understood it last week, was it was a work permit issue. Now, here we are 7 days later. We've got the players coming back on Monday that weren't at the World Cup, and we still haven't got Nils Koppen, as far as I'm aware, in position. Now, in the meantime, our direct competitors in the Championship are getting all their ducks in a row, getting some business done. There's players that we're apparently interested in, and one example I'll use is Don Ballard at Leyton Orient. We're interested in him, but it's looking like that. I'm guessing partly because we haven't got Nils Koppen and the structure right, that he's possibly now going to Bristol City. There will inevitably be other players that we're should we, shouldn't we, are we gonna, and it's this log jam is causing now, I believe, a bit of an issue, and I think we need to get a wiggle on. Are you, JP, are you starting to get concerned at how things are unfolding on that front?
Mate, I've been concerned for 15 years. It doesn't make much of a difference. An extra few weeks ain't going to make much of a difference. I mean, you're right, but at the same point, for the reality of it, because his work permit was only granted on Saturday, doesn't mean we don't know actually when he's been given it. Now, also there was also, you've got to take into consideration what his agreement with FC Copenhagen was as well. Was he a free agent then? No, he wasn't. From what I'm understanding and reading, that there's legalities around paperwork and everything to make sure that that he can work for the club. So it's not like this isn't a fantasy football where you just click on the player and he's there. There's a lot of paperwork that has got to come into it now. So, but from what I'm seeing that was confirmed earlier today, that it looks like it's going to be announced in the next few days, because it looks like it's all but wound up. As a result of it, but at the same point, guys, you've got, again, looking at the bigger picture, we've got to have a stable board first before we start appointing employees in, and we have no idea who's in charge. And I know the club statement that went out a couple of weeks ago that was basically just saying, that we're all going to basically veto whatever Sullivan tries to vote for. That's fine, but at the same point, we've got to figure out who's in that power share. So until that is figured out, we're going to be in situations like this. And Gatesy, I get your reasons why, but I don't give a shit what other clubs do. We've got to concentrate on ourselves. Yeah, we can't be worrying about players going in, because we've still got, where are we? We've got 6-7 weeks till the season starts. We've got a couple of months till the season the transfer window closes. We're given everything in the background, we're actually in a decent position. We could have been in a hell of a lot worse than we are at the minute.
Well, just before I go to you, Jazz, because this is sometimes how these things work. I've literally just received a WhatsApp message from someone that's watching and I know who they are, but I'm going to keep my mouth shut as to who they are. That's a confidence thing. But I've got here that apparently Nils Koppen has already started. I'm reading this directly. He's already started work. He's over sorting out moving his family to the UK. He's had loose conversations with Nuno and the scouting team about targets already. So make of that what you will.
There you go. There's no need for your concern then, because if all the paperwork's gone through, by the sounds of it, he's moving his family again. You've got to take that into consideration. So it's all good. So like I said, it sounds like it's going to be announced in the next couple of days, and things are moving forward. Obviously, we saw a photograph a few days ago of him and Mark Noble shaking hands with the publicity. So as far as the club's concerned, everything's been done.
Fair. It's just, like I say, literally just popped up as you was giving your answer there.
Breaking news, ladies and gentlemen.
Okay. Breaking news. Jazz, what are your thoughts?
Well, going back to this Koppen thing, looks like he was waiting for a work permit. Maybe that delayed a few things, but that's probably all in order now. I'm fine with it. We've got till the end of the window. I know Wolves have managed to get a couple of players in, and then they sacked their manager, I think, and then everyone's like, "We signed for him. What's going on?" So I'm all right with it, mate. It's just it's too much going on to get too worried about it, with Sullivan and the shares and the background and chats with Mr. Khan about the future of the ground. There's too much going on. I've had a really tough couple of years, West Ham, so I'm just taking day by day, and I've always liked to decide after the window's shut. So I think I'll wait. There's money coming in. Kretinsky hopefully will put in anything we're short of, and I like to think that West Ham is still a good fair bit of attraction for players to come to, despite being kind of out of the league. I mean, people are signing for Tottenham; they're not nowhere near Europe, so not panicking at the moment, mate. I'm fine. There's a number of weeks to go, and with the World Cup on, there's apart from Tottenham, there's not much else going. Not many clubs are doing anything. So yeah, I'm kind of okay at the moment. Yeah, not panicking yet.
How about yourself, James?
For me, I'm a little bit concerned, a little bit, but not much. We need to get him in the door. We've just sold a player, so we need to bring a player in to balance it out. You can't keep going out selling players and then not bringing no one in. We need to bring players in to sort of get the fan base up, because the fan base are down at the minute. Obviously, we've gone down. We've lost Fernandes. We look like we're losing Summerville, so we need to bring players in to sort of counteract that. With this geezer who's looking to come in, he's the real deal, apparently. And I've learnt that from not listening to anyone on YouTube, ladies and gentlemen. I spoke to Rangers fans, and Rangers fans told me exactly what I needed to know. And basically, he had done a good job at Rangers, but he just didn't have the resources. Now he's going to have the resources here. I think Kretinsky is the guy. I generally do. I think he's going to change the game at West Ham, and I can't wait. I think he knows what he's got to do. And Sullivan is a market trader, and Kretinsky's a stock trader. And I'd rather have the stock trader every day of the week. Do you know what I mean? So there you go. Bring me the stock trader.
Absolutely. There's actually been a question come in from the live chat, so I'm just going to get it up on the screen. So I'll start with you, Jazz, on this one. So Michael's asking, how long do you think Nuno gets from Kretinsky to prove himself? I'm guessing that's probably more if the start doesn't go according to plan, I would suggest. So if say we go first 3 games and we get, I don't know, a defeat and 2 draws, what are your thoughts on how things progress from that point of view? You're on mute, mate.
Too much rum.
Too many buttons, mate. Yeah, so I think he'll be okay. Yeah, I mean, as long as we're in the top 6, he'll be fine. And as it gets to January, we got to get, obviously, hopefully into the top 2. So as long as we're in the top 6 at a minimum, and then closer to top 2, he'll be fine. If we're kind of 10th, 11th, then that's not going to be good enough. I've got to say that Nuno should be okay to bring us up. But in the Premiership, I've still got to be convinced. I've still got to be convinced. Some of the tactics and decisions and bravery, not too sure, mate. The only thing that's positive for me, again, is the relationship with Mendes. It's huge. The pulling power of Mendes and him across Europe, of all these talented players, which they did at kind of Wolves together, is the main thing for me that perhaps Kretinsky thought could help us in getting players over the line. So I think there won't be an issue, hopefully, coming back. But once we're in the Premiership, whether he's the right man going forward, I'm not sure. I need to be convinced. Yeah. So as long as he's in the top 6, Gatesy, in the season coming up at a minimum, there's not much the owners can say, really. Yeah.
Well, the playoffs have been extended out, so it's now the top 8 that are going to be in contention, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah. So 3rd through to 8th are now playoff positions, not 3rd through to 6th.
Wow.
If I'm not being funny, if we're not in contention, if come the end of the season we've not made the top 8, something's gone horribly wrong as far as I'm concerned. Yeah. But James, what about you in answer to Michael's question? If it's not a great start for Nuno, say it's 3 games in and we've got 2 points, how do you think things unfold from there?
People are going to be on his case. Simple as that. And people are still remembering last season, and what they've got to come to the conclusion is that we ain't going to win every game in the Championship. There is going to be games that we're going to draw. There is going to be games that we're going to lose. But we've got to look at the long term. I feel like at the minute yeah, he has to start fast. I don't mind a dip in the season. I can accept a dip in the season because it happens. But if he starts slow and he's got to work into it, I don't think this sections of the fan base are going to tolerate that. Yeah, because I think they're gunning for him already from last season, right? And Harry's still here is a miracle because any manager would have got the sack for getting us relegated, right? So he's got a second chance, and he's got. I hope he does all right. I'm not his biggest fan. I was one that said I think he had to go well before we got relegated. I thought he was just a bit cowardly last year. I think this season he's going to have to be on the front foot rather than the back foot. He's got to win a lot of games, right? Do you know what I mean? He has to win at least 25, 30 games to make sure that West Ham are going to be there. Do you know what I mean? So he's got to start fast. And if he starts fast, the fan base will back him all the way. Yeah, but I do think there's sections of the fan base that will be rubbing their hands together if it goes wrong because they want to be proven right, in my opinion. So, yeah, that's what I think on that, mate.
I've starred your questions, John and Mandy. I have starred your questions. I am going to come to them momentarily. I'm just going to ask the panel just this last question that I had wrote down, the last topic that I wanted to cover off. Because
you want my opinion on this, Casey? You haven't asked me yet.
Again. Oh, I'm sorry. John, I'm terribly sorry. I thought you... Sorry, hang on. Right.
Who else has been on the Rums, guys? Hands up.
I can edit this bit out. They'll never know. Sorry. John, go for it.
Because you're looking at the timer, mate. That's why you're doing it. Yeah, I'm in two minds about Nuno, to be honest with you, because from what I understand of it, Kretinsky was the one that made sure that we kept hold of him, so he's going to back him to the hilt, which is basically what Michael's question is. But at the same point, his tactics last season, let's not forget, his first game in charge was game week 6, right? So he had 35, he had 35, 36 games, including the FA Cup and whatnot, right? He had 36, he had the majority of the season in charge. Okay, his substitutions were worrying. His tactics were scary at times, which is one of the reasons why we got into the position that we did. Yes, all right, there was a mini renaissance in January, but at the same point, when you look at Nuno's history, in the same way that James was mentioning about Koppen's history, Koppen worked at PSV and also before Rangers as well, for that matter. With Wolves, Nuno was able to get them out at the first time, get second place in the Championship in his first season, and ended up in the following 2 seasons to finish in European positions. If Nuno doesn't do anything like that, I think he walks at the end of his contract, because let's not forget, guys, he signed a 2-year deal. So this coming season is the second season out of that. But James, you're absolutely right, mate. He's got to win 2/3 of the games next season to stand any chance of staying in the job. And also at the same point, as it was when we got relegated the last time, we got relegated with aging players on too much money who didn't give a shit. This season we were still one of the top 3 oldest sides in the league. So Nuno and whoever else is going to be coming in to replace everything has got to do a Sam Allardyce, get rid of the shit, which is what we're doing, and bring in young, thirsty players. But the difference is we've got to keep hold of that mantra instead of keep going round and round in the same old circle. But as I say, I do feel that Kretinsky will be more lenient with Nuno because this is going to be his full season. But how lenient he's going to be, that's the question we've got to ask in October, November.
Yeah, fair assessment there, John. Appreciate that. Apologies, I miscounted. Sorry. Like I say, I can edit that bit out. No one will ever know. They'll never spot the join. My cunning plan. Oh, hang on, it's a live shit. Never mind. Anyway, right. Last point of order I wanted to discuss, and let's say we've got a couple of questions from the live chat. So, but it's been announced today by various sources. I first saw it in trying to remember the name. John, hang on a moment, I've got it here. John Percy, who is the Midlands football reporter for both the Daily Telegraph and the Sunday Telegraph, has reported that Rui Pedro Silva, who until very recently, or he may still be employed by them factually right now, but not for much longer, is the assistant manager at Wolverhampton Wanderers. Now, he's actually been with Nuno at 7 or 8 different clubs. He's actually worked under him as an assistant manager, and he's also got a bit of a, prior to Nuno even becoming a manager, Nuno was a goalkeeper coach at Malaga and Panathinaikos, and he worked alongside this Rui Pedro Silva there. So they've got a lot of history. They've got a lot of things that they've been through together. They were together at Wolves when they got promoted from the Championship to the Premier League. They've been together whilst they stabilised Wolves as a Premier League team. All of those things together again at Nottingham Forest. When Nuno came here, a lot of people thought he was going to come to West Ham, and he didn't, because Marinakis basically said, that's not happening. But it looks like he's now going to be installed. There's nothing officially announced on the club website as of yet, but the smart money is saying he's coming in as the assistant manager. So we're going to throw it over to you first, James. What are your thoughts? Do you know anything about him yourself? What are your hopes, aspirations? Is good news, do you think?
I'll make mine short and sweet. I don't know much about him. The only thing I will say is that he's highly rated from Wolves fans, and they're gutted to lose him. Other than that, he's just another person coming into the fold at West Ham. Paco was the guy. Everyone loved him. Everyone wanted Nuno to be sacked and Paco to be replace Nuno. And now Paco is no more. So, I make mine short and sweet. I don't know much about the geezer, but I hope he does well for us. That's what I want to say for me.
Fair. What about you, JP?
Same answer. I have no clue who the guy is. I don't know. I've never seen his track record. But yeah, apparently he does come in with a decent pedigree, but until he actually does his job, we can't really make any judgment on him.
Fair. This might be a rather quick one then. Jazz, have you got any thoughts on this?
Not really. No, I don't go down a pub with him every day, so I don't know him. Where did Paco go? I've not been following him properly. Where does Paco go?
Well, I believe he was offered a contract of some description, but I don't know whether it wasn't to his taste or whatever. So, he himself is a manager that's got about 500 career matches in that position under his belt. So, does he really want to be a number 2 at a second-tier English club? Probably not.
Well, he's better than Steve McLaren was, that's for sure. Anyway, well, he was number 2 at Man United and fucked up England. So
he was a number 2, definitely in both senses of the word.
Yep.
I've got his signed I've got his signed umbrella.
Surely that's full of bits by now. Right. We've got John Osborne, aka Virgil from Claret and Booze. Hope you're well, John. He's got a question in. So, how would you all feel if Summerville went to Spurs along with Fernandes? So, JP, in a parallel universe, it's not Man United that are sniffing around. It's them. Well, given that we just sort of like shunted Fernandes along the road 5 minutes ago, and last year it was Kudus. Could we make it the hat trick? And how would that go down with you?
As I said when we talked about Fernandes going in the first place, if we can pull Spurs' pants down 3 times, I'd be happy with that.
So there's no issue there. You're not sort of it's them, anyone but them.
I'm one of the few West Ham fans who don't give a shit about Spurs. Really don't care about them.
Fair enough. Jazz, your thoughts?
Yeah, I do give a shit about Spurs, but if they want to keep buying players from a relegated team, then be my guest. Keep doing it. It's fine. And John's got a taxi, so you can drop him off. You can drop both of them off together, John. It's fine. I'll be in for the ride. It's fine. I don't care. As long as the money's right, keep doubling, tripling our money. Spurs can have everyone. Apart from
I'll have a brick on the accelerator, mate. Price it straight at the stadium.
That's it. We don't really care.
Yeah. Do you know what? You'd probably find though, John, if you had him in the back, I bet you wouldn't get a fucking tip.
I'll tell you what, buy one, get one free. We give them Kilman. Buy one, get one free. You get Kilman as well.
Yes.
I'll throw him in there as well.
What a great idea. What a great idea.
That might fuck up the whole deal though, but the freebie, but there you go.
Yeah. What could possibly go wrong? We'll offer him Max Kilman as well. No. I'll tell you what. We'll take something much more valuable. How about a set of socket spanners? Yeah, all right then.
6-pack of toilet.
How about you, James? Oh God.
For me, I just feel like we've got to start thinking about West Ham and fuck everyone else. Like, do you know what I'm saying? Like, it's about West Ham United. I think people are too fond of worrying about what they're doing in North London. For me, is he a £50 million player? No. Are we going to get a fee for him? Yeah. So I'm down for whatever. Like, as I said earlier on, anyone's money's as good as the next man. The only person I wouldn't like to see go over there is Bowen. I think if Bowen went over there, that would hurt more than anything. Do you know what I mean? Summerville's been here 2 years. Fernandes has been here 10 months. I'm not going to lose no sleep over it, mate, at the end of the day, because West Ham need to get some money in, and 50 mil for a player that was bitty throughout the season. I ain't going to lose no sleep, mate, for me.
Just to jump on the back of that question, actually, I've just remembered from what I was reading earlier. Apparently, also Everton and Chelsea are looking at him as well. Would you guys be hurt if you went to either of those two sides?
Chelsea was our rivals in like the 80s and things like that. We used to hate Chelsea massively, but not now. Chelsea are miles ahead of us. I'm not really fussed where he goes, mate, if I'm being real. Like, I think if Man United come in, then you're just going to have them arrogant. Do you know what I'm saying? Then I'd rather not. Do you know what I mean? I'd rather Fulham take him, if I'm being honest. If Fulham come in and took him off their hands, I'd fucking piss myself laughing, because Man United have been stung by Fulham and Spurs. But, you know, I'm not.
But stranger things have happened, mate. Stranger things have happened.
Yeah, I'm not fussed about it. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, out of all the players, there's only one player that would affect me more than anyone, is Bowen. Like, if Bowen went there, then I would be hurt by that. Yeah, but anyone else, they can have them all, really, if I'm being honest.
And I think this is a situation where we've gone down. If it was like we finished 5th, Spurs finished 6th, and they're gone for Bowen, then I'll go ballistic. That you can't touch on any of our players, then I'll go mad. But in the situation we're in at the moment, they haven't saved us, we're down, then you can take them. But if it was we're neck and neck with Spurs doing well and they try to nick some of our players, I think I would go, I wouldn't be too happy, mate. Yeah.
I think we've got to understand something with old Daniel Kretinsky, though. He's a man really who is a businessman. So he goes where the money is. And he's not like Sullivan. You can just tell by the way he dealt with the Fernandes thing. If that was Sullivan in that situation, that would have been a £65 million move to Manchester United done. And he played the game with them all. And that's why I am so optimistic. I'm so calm. I'm so calm now. Now Sullivan's gone. And I know he's in the background as like a shareholder, but he's not in control. And Kretinsky's in control. I think we're going to see a different West Ham that we've never seen in our lives. But for the better, in my opinion. So, you know, the signs are bright. Let's put it like that.
Yeah. So the next question that I've got starred here, gents, is from Mandy. And she comes in with, if we fail to get promoted in the second season, will Kretinsky keep up the interest? I'm guessing that keep up the interest in sort of funding the club and nurturing it and all the rest of it. So who was it that started off the last question? It was Jazz, wasn't it? So I think this is James now. So James.
Well, I'm going to say this, I think he's looking to buy up West Ham as much as he can, i.e. the stadium. I think he will buy up the stadium, but I think it's going to take time. I think he's got a 3 to 5 year plan there. For me, I don't think he's going to muck about Kretinsky in this situation. I think he knows what he's doing. He's going to fire money at it. He's bringing the best people in. And one thing that he's doing is, if he can't do the job, you're going to get someone who can. Like, he's looking at getting this director of recruitment in. So he's not mucking about. I would rather them take their time to pick the people that are going to do the job right, rather than rush it and it all collapses around us. Do you know what I mean? Because we've done that too many times. I've got every faith in Daniel Kretinsky. Every faith. I've been calling this for years. I said, he's waiting there for a reason. People say, he's an investor. He's not an investor. He was waiting to take over because he knew Sullivan eventually would fall apart at the seams, and it's proven that. So would he lose interest? I don't think so. I think he's going to look to try and buy the stadium, and it wouldn't surprise me if he tries to turn West Ham into a sellable asset again, then sell us to a consortium. That's what I think is coming. Right? He goes to approach to buy the stadium. He buys the stadium. That's an asset. Looks at the training ground. He gets the fan base on side with like the badge and things like that, and then he will look to sell the club to a consortium who takes us to the next level. For me, or he stays and he combines it as a whole, gets a consortium and him together, and away we go. That's what I think.
JP, same question to you.
apart from the cliche of the next level, which we've heard so many times over the last 10 years, I'll be very surprised if we do see him become a 51% shareholder. I'll be surprised because I know everybody wants it. Before people start jumping on my back, and everybody wants it, but I'll be very surprised if he does. If he does, fantastic, but that's not going to be for a good few years yet if he does. But as I say, but James, you're absolutely right, mate. I agree with you 100% that he's going to be slow building, not taking the time, making sure he's got the right manager, making sure we've got the right people in to get in the right players for the right price, and more specifically, right players in for the right positions as well. That's the most important thing that Koppen and everybody else needs to identify is the fact we bring a player that is a natural right back. Don't bring in a midfielder who can play right back like we did with Joey O'Brien. Yeah. We have to do stuff in the right way, and I think it's going to take a long time for us to get anywhere near what we're hoping we're going to see. And in the meantime, if we're out in 2 seasons, I do think Kretinsky will throw as much money as he can to make sure that we do get out on the 3rd, which is basically the essence of the question.
How about you, Jazz? Same question to you from Mandy about, do you think after 2 seasons, if we're not promoted back to the Premier League, do you think he'll lose interest in the club?
No, not at all. I think when he came in, a lot of the people are in it for at least a decade. When you look at the Glazers and look at the money they paid for United, what it's worth now, and you can follow that across the board. And I think his position's been strengthened with what's happened to Sullivan, with Brady leaving as well and Gold passing away. It's kind of accelerated the process of him. Either you're in it or you're not. It looks like he's in for the run and he's going to get more and more sort of power. So I think no. I think he's a winner. You don't get to that position if you're not. He's got a huge reputation in the business world, and I know he's a bit quiet in the background, but so was Abramovich and people like that. So I think no, he's in it for the long run, and his position has been strengthened. And the more percentage he buys in, the more power he gets, the more he can put his sort of mark on the club, I think, and that goes off the pitch, on the pitch as well, with the properties and all that. So not at all. I think he's in it for the long haul. I think he can see the potential, hopefully, of West Ham on the field and off the field, on monetary level as well. Yeah.
Fair. Last question I've got starred here, and it's John again. Which of the academy boys should be given more trust in the Championship? JP, over to you.
Oh, that's a difficult question, because at the end of the day, I don't know. Season before last, I watched a lot of the under-21s. This season, I'm not so much. One player I've been looking forward to is to break through. He hasn't had his chance yet, and is Josh Ajaya. I think he's such a good centre forward. Really could be good. I'm hoping Ollie Scholes improves this season in the Championship. Does a Winston Reid. I'm not saying he was all that bad last season, but it's also, for that matter, we've got who's that other youngster that was out on loan last season that centre forward. What was his name now? Callum Marshall. Yeah. I hope we get to. This is one of the reasons why we got out this Championship last time by the skin of our teeth is we invested in the juniors. I think if we have like Ezra Mayers as well Mayers at centre back as well, for that matter. We've got a good core of juniors coming through. The Championship is the perfect time to see if they're good enough. So I hope we will do, but again, we'll have to wait and see.
Jazz, what about you? What are your thoughts on any of the academy players that might make the breakthrough with the Championship, dropping into the Championship?
I'm not sure if you can regard him as the academy player anymore, but I want to see what Earthy's got to offer. I think I'd like to see him in the team and in the centre mid, especially with Fernandes leaving. I think he's the one that springs to mind. The rest, I don't really follow it, to be fair, and not sure. But George Earthy comes to mind, I think. Yeah, he's a one player. I just want to see what he's got. It looked exciting, so let's see what he's got. Yeah.
James, how about yourself?
Kante, for me, he's the guy. He's the one who's going to change the game for West Ham, I believe. I think he's just very, very good. I think he needs a season in the Championship to make him a bit hardened, and then he'll be ready for the Premier League. I obviously Scholes is what he is. He's been in the Premier League and around it for a while, but he's going to be key to it. I think it's a big season for Freddie Potts for me. Huge season, because he's either going to make it or he's going to have to go. Right, it's one of the two for me.
Make or break, isn't it?
Yeah, because I think last season he was there and then he wasn't, and he just disappeared off the face of the earth. So I want to see some youngsters, but I don't want us to gamble on youngsters. That's the one thing I don't want us to do. I want us to make sure that we get this done, and the youngsters should be a bonus. They should be an extra. You bring a player in, and that's an extra for you. I don't want us to sit there and go with a sort of makeshift backline of Casey at centre half, Koppen, Bellis, and all that, and hope that these players are ready to rock and roll. Do you know what I mean? Because we need to go up in the first attempt. We don't want to be hanging about. Yeah, right. We need to make sure that we can get back and reassess ourselves back into the Premier League. So I'm looking forward to seeing Kante. I think Kante could be a little diamond that we've got, and I think a season in the Championship will do him the world of good. And him playing 38, 39 games in the season, that'll do me. Because you're going to see a player there, in my opinion, for me.
Fair. I reckon we can probably squeeze this in. We got a couple of minutes left. I did say about an hour top whack, but let's go round the room. So, Jazz, I'll throw it to you first. If Bowen stays and wins the Championship and either the FA or Carabao Cup, does he make legend status? I've already got an opinion on this, but Jazz, what are your thoughts?
Yes.
Short and sweet.
Second trophy, third trophy, and been around a decade by the time it's finished. He's there or thereabouts.
Is he already a legend, though? Is that a provocative question to ask? Well, is he not already a legend?
No, not quite. But
you don't think so?
You're getting
opinion,
there.
Isn't it?
Not for me at the moment. But you could get there. Yeah.
Fair enough. What about you, James? Where do you stand on Bowen?
If he stays, gets us promoted, he's up there with the greats, and you build a statue for the geezer. Because loyalty's a lot in football. This geezer's won us a trophy on his own, as good as when he scored that goal in Prague. It will show a lot for him to turn around and turn away Premier League to stay with West Ham, and I think that puts him up there with Brooking for me and Billy Bonds and people like that. Like you have to go into a new modern generation now. Do you know what I mean? Because I think people go back to the old generation, and I respect the old generation of like Billy Bonds and Trevor Brooking and Bobby Moore and all that. But you got to look at the modern generation, and I think Bowen's a modern day legend for me. And if he stays and he fires us back and he stays for a couple of years and we end up winning another trophy of some note, then you've got to put him in the category at the end of the day. Whether you're a hardened person who loves the greats, you've got to look at someone who's potentially is great now for us. So, yeah, legend for me.
Fair. Last word to you, JP. What are your thoughts on Bowen? Is he already a legend, or would this, if he's not right now, would this cement it?
If we call Carlton Cole a legend, then Bowen is a legend. It's as simple as that. You know, he's carried us through a lot of games so far this season. You know, last season and the season before that. A lot of the time, he's really he's put the club on his shoulders last couple of seasons. You know, it looks like he is all but staying. Apparently, from what I'm reading, that he has told people that he wants to stay and get us back to the Premier League. So fair play to him for that one. Like, you know, as we all know, he's won us a trophy. He's already on level, as far as I'm concerned, as Mark Noble. Yeah, he has that attitude in and how he applies himself. It's not the greatest of captains. I've said that quite a few times. He can be a lot better, but in terms of players who lead by example, he's right up there with the genuine dictionary definitions. Legend is such an easy term to use nowadays, but in actual legend itself, if we call him Trevor Brooking, if we call Billy Bonds, if we call him Bobby Moore, if we're calling Mark Noble a legend, then we're calling Jarrod a legend.
Yeah, absolutely. Right. Well, I said about an hour, and we're pretty much there. So before we do decamp, gentlemen, I would like to show you guys a little bit of love and affection in a nice way. Don't worry, I'm not going to go all soppy on yous, but just to sort of say, give your channels a shout out, gentlemen. So JP, we'll start with you. If you want to if anybody's watching that maybe is looking and going, who's that devilishly handsome young man, and what is this JPWHU TV all about? Give your channel a shout out, mate.
Thank you. Well, if you're talking about young men, James is the youngest out of the lot of us. I'm one of the oldest, I think, surely. But it's JPWHU TV. Also do a podcast you can find on Spotify and basically everywhere. JPWHU Radio. Was originally doing watch-alongs every season since pretty much before COVID. Not been able to do it last season. Might not be able to do it this season. But there's a lot of content going out there. So yeah, by all means, I've got an Instagram account under the same name, JPWHU TV. You can find us on Facebook pages and groups as well. So I'm everywhere basically. So by all means, please do come over. There's been some interesting content coming up over the last month or so. You know, we've had a lot to talk about, and I've shared my opinions with the world. So if you aren't already ready, go and give me a follow over on social media and give us a subscribe over on YouTube.
Absolutely. Jazz, you obviously, we had a conversation earlier, and look, you've not done anything on your channel for a little while, but I've got a funny feeling I can see a little glint in your eye. I think you might be thinking about going to the well once more. I could be wrong, and if you are, give your channel a shout out, mate.
Yeah, it's obviously West Ham Al's channel. I've kind of started twice now. It's been a couple of years now. I might not. I don't know. It's just that I can't keep it up. I'm too busy.
You're gonna have to make him an offer, guys.
Yeah, I'm not ruling.
Give an offer you can't refuse.
Yeah, not ruling it out.
It does take a lot of work to do this stuff. It really does. It's a lot more than people realize.
It's a flick of a switch. I could be into it tomorrow like nuts, or just keep thinking about it, or it's my mood. If I'm into it, then I'll jump in, and then I'll get bored after 6 months, jump out again. And so yeah, it's out there, West Ham Irons channel. I haven't even been on Twitter for a couple of years. Might be, might not. Not too sure, mate. Not too sure.
Watch this space, ladies and gentlemen. Well, and last but by absolutely no means least, James, give E20 Zone TV a little bit of a shout out for anyone that's not.
First things first, Jazz, we need you back, son, because you're a voice of reason. That's what I'm going to say to you right now. You need to come back, even if you do a 10-minute video every week, once a week. That 10-minute video for your community goes a long way. Trust me. Right, so
you to be happy with the quiet silence as well.
Yeah, but I want to see Jazz back. Don't worry about E20 Zone TV. Go and subscribe to all the boys' channels. Listen, I'm. Like, anyone's welcome on E20. Yeah, I've only got to hit the link to come see me and have a chat. It is what it is. But yeah, listen, go and follow all the boys. And listen, West Ham United, we're back, baby. Here we go.
Absolutely.
Back where we belong.
Yeah. But, anyway, for those of you that are still there, lingering, 32 of you that are still there. I think last I looked, we had about 20 likes before we decamp. If you could drop a like on this stream and give us a hype if you've got one available. And if you are watching this and you are not yet subscribed to the West Ham Massive, why ever not? Then in the top left-hand corner is a QR code that if you get out your mobile device and scan it, it will take you to our YouTube subscription page. And best of all, subscribing is completely free of charge, data safe, takes a couple of seconds of your time, just like my sex life, and it just helps to grow the channel.
I knew you were going to say that.
I'm sorry to drag it down back into the gutter, but it's just my
we were talking about Bob Monkhouse earlier, right?
Yes.
It was in a few years before he died. He did a great interview. He was talking about his doctor, and apparently his doctor said to him, he went, if we go ahead with this procedure, it's gonna kill off 50% of your sex life. And the Monkhouse goes, so is that thinking about it or talking about it?
He was a very, very funny man. Very, very funny man. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to knock it on the head there. I'm going to play the outro credits. As I say, give the lads a subscribe and a follow and all the good stuff. And we'll see you again soon. Come on, you Irons.
West Ham are massive, everywhere we go. West Ham are massive.